Hello and welcome to Witchy Shit and Mangalit with Cartabus and Rawiyah. We are back this week, and as usual, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. But Carta has had a lot going on. So Carta, first, what are we talking about?
So, I just made some shit up in my head like 5 minutes ago, and that's what we're gonna talk about. I wanna talk about, so I saw this thing, it was like, about how I wanna talk about the witch trials, and I wanna talk about queer baiting in media.
Mm.
So those are gonna be our 2 topics today, and both of them are rot, so we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what has happened to you? Because you've had 2 weeks. Like
Yeah, I had a
you've
bit of
had
a
a
roller
week.
coaster. Basically, to put a long story short, the dog bit through my hand, and I have a hole in my bone right there. It's in the metacarpal by the index finger. It looks like someone took a hole punch to my bone and just went, "You get a
Mm-hmm.
circle now." So I got a donut finger. I got a Rengoku
Ringoku
finger.
finger. Mm.
My special friend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so, that happened. So I was in the hospital last weekend when we were
Yeah.
normally, supposed to be recording, and instead, you got to talk to my high on opioid ass for, like, 5 hours that day because I kept calling you.
Which was great. I was here for it. I was here for it. Like no one should be in the hospital by themselves. Like I was there, bestie. I was there.
We had fun. That's that's the main thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but real quick, let me tell you, we gotta have Ron back on, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Oh, why? What's
Because
up?
last night I was talking to him, and he went off on this rant about how evangelicals, like, met up with, like, some kind of manufacturing group and turned into, like, the corporate machine that they are today, and that, like, Christians used to be socialists and all this, and I'm like, "Why are you so passionate about this?" And he's like, "I just know too much information." And I'm like, "You
No,
know,
we
this
need
is
to
why
talk
we
about it.
wanted you back on the podcast, right?" And he's like, "But it's just stuff that I remember from, like, listening to other podcasts." And I'm like, "Do you listen to us at all ever?"
Mm-hmm.
Because this is what we do. We just find shit that we're interested in, and we fucking talk about it. That's how it works.
And we
And
need
he
to
was
talk
like,
about it.
"Oh, okay." It's interesting. It's fucking
It's
interesting.
not just interesting, it's what's leading us to a potential civil
Yeah,
war.
it's important. Like, it's important information. And he's also
Mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah, and they tried to stage a coup during Franklin Roosevelt's time too." And I was like, "Fucking what?" And
Mm-hmm.
then, like, I had him talk to me about it for, like, 20 minutes, so I got my own little personal podcast because I was like, "I need to hear this information. Please do tell me," while
Mm-hmm.
I'm power washing and listening to the soundtrack to Skyrim, which is a very surreal experience, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
because if you spend any amount of time in Skyrim, you're like, "I'm immersed in this world." But then, like, and listening to the soundtrack can bring you back to the Skyrim stuff. But I was power washing while listening to Skyrim, and it was like I was inceptioning the video game world. I was like, "I'm
Wow,
in a video
friend.
game within a video game doing video game things."
Wow.
Yeah, and I don't know why I'm acting high. I really don't. I have not had drugs for a while. I
How's your pain level right now? Is it lower than
It's
it was before?
okay. Yeah,
That's
like
when I have high pain and then it goes down,
mhm.
then I feel a little high.
Maybe that's why, 'cause, like, I just feel kinda normal today.
Mhm.
I was doing my normal stuff today, except when I got back from getting my massage and having my coffee, I laid down for a bit. I didn't actually go to sleep, I just fell into a real hole. which is fine. I was still
Mhm.
resting by laying down. Then I was like, "Oh, I have stuff to do now." So, but it has been 2 weeks, and I feel like we consumed a lot of the same media during that time frame. Though
Yeah.
I will say I probably read way more comics than I normally do because I was restricted from drawing because my hand is busted.
Mhm.
But but, I feel like we still have a lot to talk about within, what we were able to watch. Because last week was more on a BL kick, and then this week was on some C
Oh
drama.
my God. What did we watch? What was the name of that one we watched? Minion?
Mignon, yeah.
Mignon. Uh, that shit was hot. You
So for
told me
anybody
serious.
listening, Mignon is a Korean boys love animated film. It's about an hour and 7 minutes long, but it was broken up into like 5 to 8 minute segments and put onto Vimeo. And then it was taken down off of Vimeo, so it is no longer available for purchase, but we're hoping that they can put it back up again and or put it up in its long form format because I would watch that
Mhm.
shit straight through all over again because it is fantastic.
We both bought it so we can
Yeah.
watch it whenever we want.
Whenever we want, yes.
But like, if you missed that train, hopefully the train comes through the station again because it was a it's a boxer in this underground boxing ring and this vampire doctor, and it is every
Who?
bit
Who? It is
is every bit as
spicy.
oh my god as it sounds. Totally hot, super hot.
It
Um,
yeah,
we
they don't
watched
hold
that
back.
last scene together. Like you
They
had seen it, but we were watching. We were on what were we on
we
Zoom?
were on Zoom. Yeah, we watched it together on Zoom. Are you really friends if you can't watch smut together?
Right? Right?
Yeah,
I
that
know I
shit
must have
is
been making some faces though, because it was
you were making noise too. I can hear you over there, the "Ee!" that that one thing you do.
you
Yeah.
want to know what else was happening?
What?
My housemates were in the room.
So all of us were watching it together.
All of us were there. All of us were there. They were, and because our living room and our kitchen are connected but open, so
Mhm.
they were sitting like literally like couldn't have been more than 12 feet away from me, if that much, like away from me while I was getting my life on watching this scene. What else did you watch?
Um, I'm trying to think. I've watched more Sasaki and Miyano. We both watched that together.
Hmm.
That God, it's so cute. That one's
Hmm.
like the opposite. So Miyon is like super hot and like really dramatic, and Sasaki and Miyano is like the fluffiest shit you've ever seen, but like
Hmm.
it's so good. It's so good. I ended up watching it in dub though, which was new for me because I don't usually watch dub, but I
Hmm.
wanted to this was before I hurt my hand and I wanted to draw while I was watching it, and so I watched it in dub, and Sasaki's voice actor does an excellent, excellent job. Like,
Hmm.
Miyano's voice actor is cute too, but, like, who Sasaki's voice actor does work. That's all I'm saying. He does work on that one because he is, just a cutie patootie the whole time. I'm trying to think. We watched a bunch more isekai type shows. There's The Realist, Hero Saves the Kingdom, and that one was weird because dude is, like, in another world quoting Machiavelli, and I'm just like, "Bruh, what
Hmm.
the fuck are you doing?" This
Hmm.
this doesn't make any I mean, I guess. It's working out for you, I guess, but, yeah, I don't know. I think only watch that one if you are really into that kind of thing, because I'm gonna tell the truth. I slept through an entire episode of that show,
Wow.
and it did not destroy the experience for me.
Wow.
Like, I was just in the next episode like, "Okay, this is fine." I didn't miss anything. I slept through an entire episode. I was tired.
Well, your body's healing.
Um, what else did we watch? We watched, the I'm the eighth son, Are You Kidding Me? Which is it's funny. It's a funny one. It's an isekai where he gets reincarnated as the eighth son in a noble household and, like, has to make his own way, and, of course, he's OP because that's what all these shows do. Um, that one was okay, and then we just finished, The Dungeon That Only I Can Enter, and that one was was basically, another one where it was like it just turned into a harem show because
Mm-hmm.
the way that his powers work, and this is hilarious, the way that his powers work, he can use LP, which is like life points or whatever, to like spend to create create new skills and stuff. But the way that he gains LP is through pleasure. So like good food or like earning money or like making out with hot
Mm-hmm.
chicks. And yeah, so that's the entire plot of the show. There's like nothing else involved with it. So he just gets a hair and it's hilarious. Like the show knows what it is. Like it's not one of those
Mm-hmm.
where it's like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to be something. No, it's like here's what I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
ashamed. So that one was really funny. And then this week we watched Bromance together, and
Yes.
that show, oh my god.
It hits every single trope. I love that show
Every
so
trope.
much.
Like, if there is a trope that you can think of that has been in a K-drama, it is in this show, and, like, we've only watched together 3 episodes, and already we've had the, "Oh, no, there's only 1 bed, what will we do?" trope. We've
Yes.
already had the
Fall
the
kiss. The
the
bump
fall
kiss.
kiss, the fall the accidental kiss trope. We've had the, "I'm gonna pretend to be your girlfriend, but I'm actually your cousin" trope. We've had the, "Oh, no,
Stuck out
my"
in the rain.
the stuck out in the rain, have to go to the hospital. We've had like, and that was on purpose. Like I was locked into on the rooftop by bullies.
Mm-hmm.
The male lead is part of the mafia. What else? What
Yes.
else?
Yes. And then
The
on
I'm the
top of that, we have this 12th night situation going
Yes,
on.
the cross-dressing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it. And then we've got the
Oh,
sick
I
girl
saved you.
with the oh yeah,
Yeah, the one I saved you earlier in life, but you don't know who I am, but I know who you are.
yes. Oh my god, like, there is so much packed into this show, but I will never, ever stop being mad at the stylist because they make her look like a thrift store lesbian, and I'm so mad about it. Those pants, I'm angry. I will
Yes.
die angry about those pants because they no, just no.
I think
Nothing
they
about them is
put
okay.
I think they put her in those pants to like kind of hide her body and make her body like more boxy, cuz she can't wear tight pants like the male lead can. And there's a lot of tight pleather and leather
Oh
pants
my
that he is
god.
wearing.
He's wearing so much honestly, though, I
Mm.
would rather see her in tight, long pants because that's the style of what
It
men
is a
are
style,
wearing, not like
but
these culottes. She's wearing culottes,
that's what
okay?
it is. She is wearing culottes.
I hate them.
And then the shirts are kind of weird too. Like the shirts are just a little bit too big and
Yeah.
bulky in the front.
Though, I mean, the suit
Mhm.
jacket that he gave her, primo,
Mhm.
love it.
Nice.
If she
Nice.
had
Of course
literally
it's one of his
anything
suit
else
jackets.
on her lower body, it would have been amazing, but
Mhm.
no. We get these
Culottes.
frumpy ass culottes, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, no, I'm a man." "No, you're not.
Mhm.
Look at those
Mhm.
pants."
Mhm. Oh my god, and we also have the sister who is totally in love with Piano, that's the female lead, but doesn't know that she's a girl, but totally in love. And then we also have the sidekick friend who is comic relief. So
Yeah.
there's a lot going on. And yes, it only gets better. It only gets more and more tropey
I'm just like,
as we
how
go
how
along.
how? I feel like we're gonna run out of tropes by episode 5. How does this show have
We
20
are
episodes?
we are not. We are not. It goes deep. This one was one of my gateway K dramas. I think it was Boys Over Flowers first. I think that was my gateway. A Strong Girl Bonds. No, I think it was Boys Over
Mhm.
Flowers. Or no, it was Coffee Prince. Coffee Prince, then this, then Boys Over Flowers. And after that, I was like, what is this amazingness? I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Like Korean dramas, Taiwanese dramas, Chinese dramas, like
Yeah, 'cause
Japanese dramas for life.
bromance is a C drama, it's in Mandarin,
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's Taiwanese or if it's, actually like, mainland Chinese, but
I don't know which one
it's
either.
definitely in Mandarin, so it's
Hmm.
not.
Oh, and there's a side couple who you call coffee couple,
Yeah.
and one of them is dying.
Yeah, because you gotta. It's the sick girl who's like, so I was explaining this series, to Ron last night, and he was like, "This kind of sounds amazing." I'm like, "It is. It is." So I'm getting another friend on it too because she really loves the cross-dressing trope,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Oh, no, this one's a good one."
This one's gonna
You you gotta
satisfy you.
it's gonna
This
it's
one's
gonna
gonna
hit
satisfy
tick
you.
all the boxes, all of them.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think. Um, Reading wise, I read a series called Manly Appetites,
Hmm.
and it was about two office workers falling in love. Um, One of them was a bit of a chubby guy, and the other was like another, like an ikemen type of office
Hmm.
guy who just absolutely adores him and like keeps trying to buy tasty snacks for him because he loves his happy face when he has a tasty snack.
Hmm.
And like, but the chubby one's a little bit of a wet cat about it. And
Hmm.
I love the wet cat character. So I'm extremely a fan of that dynamic of the like golden retriever. I want to do anything to make you happy, and then like the wet cat, like, no, you only you're everybody, you're popular. I don't like you.
Hmm.
It's like, no, let him dote on you, please. So yeah, that was a 3-book series, but that was pretty cute. And I'm excited about being part of Vicky because a couple of the BLs that I really like have dramas related to them. So, like Candy Colored Paradox is one of the ones that has a drama, and that one is also a wet cat trope. So, I'm excited to see how that
Explain
plays
wet
out.
cat trope.
So, for me, like, I just name shit. It's probably not an actual trope. That's just how I name it. And it's when one of the characters is very prickly and like doesn't
Uh
actually
huh.
want to fall in love with the other character, but the other character is either persistent or like super sweet for no reason, and
Hmm.
they end up getting together anyway. But I really like the wet cat one because it's typically a wet cat with a golden retriever type,
Mm-hmm.
and the dynamic is just chef's kiss. It's very fun.
Nice. So I is that the end of your list?
That is the end of my list.
Ah, um, awesome shit. Awesome shit. So I watched another episode. I've been watching one episodes because they're coming out like now. I finished Sasaki and Miyato, and then I fell asleep to it in English. I'm like, let me watch this again in English. And so like
I'm right
Sasaki's
about
voice,
Sasaki's VA,
you
right?
are correct on Sasaki's voice. But it was also interesting hearing the difference between the dub and what I read in the sub. So I always find that a little interesting. And what else did I do? I started reading, well, let me go back to watching. I started watching the like Thai version of Boys Over Flowers, which has been a ride. It is. I'm more scared of the mother in this one than I was in any of the other ones that I have watched. Like,
Really? Even the
yeah,
Japanese one?
yes, this bitch is terrifying.
Oh,
Um,
no.
it's on a much faster pace than the Japanese version or the Korean version. Um,
Okay, but do they drag her behind a car?
no, they
Okay.
do not drag her
What
behind a
what do they
car.
do instead for that scene? That seems like the
It's
bar for me.
they burn her friend's bike.
They
She
burn a bike?
they burn the little motorcycle. They drag her and the bike out to a field, burn it, and she gets punched a few times. Um,
That's kinda hardcore.
it is hardcore. No, this series goes hard. Like it goes hard.
Like,
It goes hard.
it's not quite the, "Oh my god, she might die," that the
Mhm.
original was, but, like, at the same time, that's a way more extreme than the Korean version for sure.
Yeah. No, it is wild. It goes hard. I'm at the point where the new fiance was introduced and he ran off with her, mistaking her for the girl he was actually in love with. I will say that oh my god, now his head is stuck in my head as Ren, but it's not Ren. The other love interest, the one who was like her soulmate in a way, like they were aligned.
Yeah, Hanazawa
Rui,
Rui, yeah.
Rui. Their analog of him, oh,
Mhm.
so they did a
Honestly,
good job.
they always make him he's always the best. Like,
He is.
even in the original, you're, like, rooting for his ass the whole time. You're
Mhm.
like, "Fuck you, Domyoji.
Mhm.
Where's Drewy at? We
Mhm.
gotta get him back."
We need him back in our lives. So it's fast paced. This one is only 17 episodes, I believe. So they move through it pretty quickly. I'm on episode 8.
Mhm,
It's just it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm liking it a lot. It took me like 2 episodes to really commit, but they have enough differences in the episodes to where it like I know kind of what's coming next, but they changed some of the things. Like instead of working at a tea shop or something like that, or a food shop, she's working at a flower shop.
mhm,
And so they changed some things. Like instead of having the whole necklace thing, or we haven't gotten to the necklace thing yet, we
mhm.
had a situation with the phone. Like he had bought her a new phone.
Is that like the pager? 'Cause the
Oh
original is
my
so
god,
old.
yes.
Is that the
Yeah.
pager analog?
That's the pager analog. That's the pager analog. So yeah, so I'm really, really liking it. So I did that. I watched another episode of My Happy Marriage and Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. Another episode of the Master House Cat is depressed again today, which I'm really starting to get into. And I watched Howl's Moving Castle in Japanese. And that's what I'm trying to think of if I watched or started anything else, and I think that's it. I started reading The Gilded Ones from Nanami Forna, and that is a Afro fantasy book. So I started reading that. And I think that's all the media I consumed. I've been playing a lot of Stardew Valley this week. So my birthday's coming up. It's my
Yes.
birthday's gonna be September 5th, so we might have been past this by time, we post
Mhm.
this, it's gonna be past it. But I'm super excited because my birthday gift to myself was the complete box CD DVD set, all the seasons of Xena Warrior Princess.
Congratulations. I remember
Thank
you
you.
buying that.
Yes.
Actually, I may have been an accomplice with you buying
You were an accomplice with the buying of that.
that.
You really were. I think we got that while you were in the hospital.
Yeah, no,
So
you were like, "Should I get this?" I'm like, "Treat yourself." 'Cau I was I
Yep.
was I was a bit little bit drugged up at the time.
Oh, well, I got it, and it's definitely looks like it is not remastered at all.
Nice.
It looks like watching it on a TV that is not a flat screen but a box. Like, so I am digging it. I made sure that my when I put in the CD, it wasn't playing, and I forgot. Oh, you have to download a driver and an application because computers don't come with it these days. You have to
Mhm.
like download it. So I downloaded it and I plugged it in. I got it going, and I tell you, when that first opening sound came on, dun 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 dun, dun flashbacks. I was like a teenager again. I was so excited to watch it again as an adult because I started watching it on Netflix before they took it off of Netflix. Um, but yeah, and the only other thing that I watched this week was Good Omens second season.
Oh, is the ending depressing? I heard it's depressing.
It's close your ears for spoilers, kiddies. It was depressing. It was very much like, but true to character. It was
Mhm.
true to character. There was Aziraphale and Crowley kissed.
A word? That's
Word.
exciting.
They kissed, and then they immediately split, made a decision. Like Aziraphale made a decision that, you know, that means that they couldn't like be together at that point. So, but there's a season 3 in the works already. So I'm excited about that, and hopefully their situationship turns into a relationship because that's what I want. I want my two angels to have their gay
Right?
relationship and love on each other.
Yes.
But what I also liked was all the diversity in the casting. Like they had a really diverse cast, and they also had a hey lady, hi baby girl, do you want to come up, or you just want to stare at me? I have my ex's dog um this weekend, so she just came in the room and is staring at me like she doesn't know what to do. Um, so what else? Yeah, so I love the diversity of the cast. They also had a angel who was in a wheelchair, a divine wheelchair, which was great. They had fat people in it, like actual like fat people, not just chubby, but like fat.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it was really cute. It was really good. I enjoyed it. And John Hamm plays, oh, she's too warm. She wants to sleep on the floor. And John Hamm plays the best himbo ever.
Ugh, he's so good at playing himbos too.
Mhm.
He has a talent for it.
He
I love
was
him for that.
fucking adorable. He was adorable the entire time. But yeah, but
I'm
that's what I watched, and that was on my list of things. And this week I'm gonna finish the Thai version of Boys Over Flowers, and it's called F4 Thailand Boys Over Flowers. Like they're like, don't you? Hey, you don't have to
don't
guess.
confuse this with anything
Don't.
else.
This is not Meteor Garden. This is not Boys Over Flowers. This is F4 Thailand Boys Over Flower. That's what this is. Don't get it mixed. Don't get it twisted. So yeah, so that was everything. I'm gonna finish that. And I'm probably gonna finish the Maxwell Cat is depressed again. Maxwell House Cat is depressed again. And I have no other plans after that. But oh, Xena all weekend.
Xena.
hmm Lucy
Well, I
Lawless and Renee O'Connor.
I love that for you.
Mm.
I'm trying to think.
Wow.
I have no plans for the next week. I'm just gonna stare at my hand until I can draw again.
Oh, well, we're gonna watch more of that bromance so you can
Yes.
see how
Yeah.
those tropes continue.
Yeah, so
God.
maybe I was like, we do not have time for 20 hours worth of show in 1 week, but
Mhm.
we'll get we'll definitely get at least 10 deep by the time we have the next
Mhm.
episode. Um, so we'll see. Oh, I also watched more of, the Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun.
Mhm.
It's so good. It's so
Where are you
cute.
watching that one on?
That one's Crunchyroll.
Okay, because I
Yeah.
saw I saw a blurb about it. Not a blurb. Sometimes I watched anime recaps,
Mhm.
and that's how I knew what it was, and interested in seeing it.
Yeah, it's
All
just
right, I'm
like
gonna
it's
add it.
so cute. It's so cute. The last episode, he got a date with Ameri, who's the student council president, but she's, like, gigantic. She's, like, 3 feet taller than him, basically. And they went on a date, and she's, like, trying to be, like, super cute and ends up being, like, super strong all the time and is worried, like, he's not having a good time, but, like, he totally is because of who he is as a person. It was adorable. It was completely adorable. But, yeah, that one's I do recommend that one. There's 3 seasons, and they're all, like, 20 plus episode seasons, so
Oh,
there's
okay.
a lot of content with that one.
Mhm.
So it's taken me a while to get through because I usually just, like, blast through 12, 12 episode seasons, but all of these are double, and there's 3 seasons worth of it, so it's taking
Cool.
me a little bit to get through, but it's super cute. I highly recommend.
Awesome. I just added it to my list.
Cool,
So
cool.
what are we talking about again today?
So let's talk about the witch trials. Or why I'm mad about people talking about the witch trials.
Oh my god. I just my only thing is like I saw this quote and I'm like I feel it. Like you are all of you are not the daughters of witches they didn't
No,
burn.
and the thing is, like, they weren't burning witches. They were burning just women who wanted to live independently. They were
Yes.
simply burning women. They weren't burning witches. So, like,
Mhm.
saying, like, "I'm the daughter of the witches you didn't burn," or, like, "I'm the reincarnation of the witches you did burn." No, they weren't they witches. I will die mad about it. I'm just so tired. I'm exhausted. Like, I saw one about
Mhm.
it, and I was just like, "No, no." I wanted to swat her hand and be like, "Stop it. Stop, perpetuating this misconception of what it
That
was."
time period was. It was a land grab, it was a money grab,
Yeah.
also too. It was about women's independence. But what the reason why I get mad of like I am the daughter of the witches they didn't burn or I am a witch that they burned was the whole way it's used to be like don't tell me I'm doing something wrong. I too have been oppressed.
Oh, no, yes, they do use it like that a lot, I forgot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, because like 90% of the people who are using it are white women. Let's just
Yes.
put that out there.
Yes. Yes. And most likely Wiccan.
Oh god, yes, or like, fluffy bunny.
Mhm.
Fluffy bunnies are the ones who are using it because
Mhm.
they want to be oppressed, and it's like
Yes.
they do, they want to be like, "I'm part of this minority group," and it's like, "Well, but are you?" What have you
Mhm.
done today to, you know, see the plight of others and support them instead
Mhm.
of making up shit that
Mhm.
about how oppressed you are when you're really not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
mad about it.
What did you see that got that made you be like, I'm
No.
gonna pop off on this shit? Like, What inspired this?
No, my friend sent me a reel of this girl going like, "I'm not the daughter of the witches that weren't burned. I'm the reincarnation of the witch you did burn." And I'm just like,
Oh my God, my eyes
"Jesus
can't roll
Christ, why?"
hard enough. My eyes cannot roll hard enough. They
Right?
literally
Like
went back.
yeah, so, like and, like, I'm not trying to call out the person who sent me that because I know she did it in full good faith, but at the same time, I'm just like, mm.
Mhm.
Mm. So that just reminded me of how mad I am about people doing that.
Mhm. Mhm.
'Cause I'm like, yeah, so the actual witch trials were them basically cementing patriarchy. So you
Yeah.
saying that, yeah, you're going against patriarchy, but at the same time, that's putting a religious bent on it that was not actually there. You know what
Yeah,
I
well, they
mean?
use religion was the excuse or the not the excuse, the religion was used the same way to, and this is not the same way, but the Bible was used to enforce patriarchy and to strip women of power. The same way the Bible was used to keep slaves in check, enslaved people in check. And the Bible was changed in order to do that. Like
Mhm.
the inspirational text that was created, that was the original Bible, did not had more books in it and had different language in it. And so many people will say, well, we can't know what the Bible actually says because we can't have a direct translation of it, when it's like, these languages aren't dead, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
these are not dead languages. They're languages that people speak today. So my thing with the whole, like, we are the daughter of witches you couldn't burn, is that it is used as a form of saying I'm oppressed. Don't talk to me about this thing. While they're still participating in the systems of patriarchy, um, in systems that are actually hurting marginalized folk. Um, and it just, when someone says that to me, I'm like, you told me exactly who you are.
Mhm.
You told me
You
exactly who
you
you
are a
are.
very specific subset of a very specific subset of people.
Mhm.
And so, like but it reminded me also of how mad I am because like, I was talking to Ron about this last night, but, I'm just so mad at the people using the edited Trump icons and stuff like that. And there is this one friend of mine who keeps posting that bind Trump symbol like it actually means something. And I'm like, it's it's always the same type of person in that situation. And it's
Yep.
the Venn diagram of those 2 people is a circle. That's
Yep.
so, like, I'm just continuously reminded about the people who I don't even know what to call it. It like performative outrage or performative, like, people who act like they're doing something when they're actually not in terms of helping.
Well, it's the whole thing of pray with your feet moving, and
Mhm,
they're doing what they're basically doing, the magical thing of thoughts and prayers, when and they're not. A lot of these people who are doing these things, are posting these things, or doing the bindings. One, a binding, okay. My feeling about binding and destruction may not be the level of shit that people want to engage with, but I don't believe in binding people like Trump. I believe in destroying them. Um I believe in totally fucking with their life. I don't want to bind them. I want
Yeah.
to obliterate them.
And the thing
Um,
is, like, binding works if you're trying to keep them from doing harm, but harm's done. Harm's
yeah,
done. What are you gonna do now? You can't keep trying to bind something that's already, like, destroyed shit. Like,
yes,
it it didn't
yeah,
work, honey. It
it
didn't
did, it
work.
did. It did. And also you have to look at all the circumstances around it. It's like, okay, so Trump is this one symbol. If you want to do something, go after the hate groups.
Yeah.
Like, put your money and prayers behind people who are in actual resistance.
Right.
Like, do ritual. Like, don't just share a sigil, but do actual fucking ritual where you tie yourself and your prosperity to the prosperity of other people. My thing about the whole let's bind and use that symbol thing is like, if you ain't got no blood in the game. Until you
Yeah.
put blood in the game, then you ain't really doing nothing. Um, at
And
least
it's
that's how
funny
I
because
feel.
no, like, that's what I was talking to Ron about as well. Because 'cause I'm like, well, 1, trying to go after any of these right-wing people on their own is not going to work. You just trying to go after them is not going to work because they are protected by something. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but it is evil and they are protected by it.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you just try to, like, randomly cast shit at them, it's 1, going to be completely ineffectual, and 2, is going to end up harming you and being useless in any way. So
Mhm.
that's a stupid way to go about it. When I did a spell, I specifically did it as a broad stroke um karmic retribution spell of
Yes.
what you give out you get back,
Yeah.
and that's what's going to happen. And I put blood into it. I literally bled for that spell. I cut myself open
Mhm.
and bled for it. um but I also started putting money into marginalized groups because that is, where the actual action was happening. And I knew that me on my own was not going to be effectual, but that those groups could be effectual. So that is where my focus went. It it's difficult talking to people who think that they can make change in other ways without exploring all the ways that they can make change. Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because so many people are like, "Well, yeah, but I did this, this, and that." And it's like, "Yeah, but how many results did you get from that?" You know what I mean?
Ugh. I feel like, okay, this may be controversial to say because so many people like were like into it, but I feel like it's the pink pussy hats of magic. You know how people were doing the pink pussy hats and they were like, "We're
Yeah.
out here in these streets." And that was about it. That was all they did was put on pink pussy hats and quote Beyonce and go and quote Lemonade and go out in these streets and be
Mhm.
like, "We're in formation." And they were using this language that they didn't even get, was a lot like the whole thing about getting formation, pink pussy hats. It was a majority of white women,
Mhm.
quoting Lemonade lyrics and everything, which was completely disrespectful to black women in films because Lemonade was a love letter to black women in films, right? So like, so there was no connection or thought and organizing processes that centered black and brown um
Mhm.
contribution or ideas of how some of this shit should work. And then they just did their marches and then they didn't do, at least I didn't see anything aside from
Mm-mm.
these
No,
marches.
they
Like there was
didn't.
a show of force, but then they went back and continued to vote for people who are writing laws that are harmful to their own bodies, mental health, and financial stability.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing right now in the world is, and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into it. Is like white men being terrified of their existence changing because this country's moving from like majority white to like majority non-white.
Mhm.
Um, and there's a whole fear of that power like dynamic changing. And so they're creating laws to keep them in place as much as possible. And I see it starts with a C. The word starts with a C. I see a lending of support. I really think like these thoughts and prayer hoes, these we are the witches you couldn't burn hoes, like I didn't burn hoes, they have so much power. They have so much power because they are so close to the people that are in power.
Mhm.
And I see them not using that power. And they're complicit, they're being complicit in the power structures that are like fucking us over when it's like you ain't gonna win here. It's the same thing with the suffragettes. Like the suffragettes were teamed with black and brown women who were like all women get to vote, and then the men in power were like, hey, white girls, we'll give you the vote, but you gotta drop these other hoes off at the pool. Like you can't be like with
Mhm.
them. And they went for it and they were like, okay, great, cool, we get the vote. And black and brown women were like, wait, what the hell happened? And they were like, oh well, we got what we needed. And I'm seeing that continue to perpetuate.
Yeah.
And I really believe that some of the most powerful people in this country are white women. Like if they like group together and use their voice
Mhm.
and like sided with other marginalized groups, we would be balling. Like the power of their vote alone, we would be fucking balling up in this bitch. It's like
Yeah.
come over literally to the darker side. Come on, come over. We have really good food, great music. You should be all up in this shit.
You
Like vote with us
use the, Karen power for the good of all.
for the good of all. There was this one video that I loved, and this woman was on a street corner. And I think somebody have like told her what was happening in the world because she was screaming about all the ills in the world. And she was like, how are you not angry? She's like, I'm a Karen and I'm angry about marginalization and systematic oppression. And she was like, we need reparations now. I am Karen and I'm saying this. And she was on the street corner just going off with a sign. And I was like, ooh, someone got through to you and you like letting it go as much as you can. Like I babooed my heart to you. But I do believe that we're headed to a dangerous place because of fear of the loss of
Mhm.
power. Um, and it's gonna fuck us up. We're headed to a bad place. Like last week, black people got shot up in the store for just being black because of this white man's manifesto. Like
Mm.
this happened. I think it was four people died. Like that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a lot of fear turned to violence.
Mhm.
And it's really sad. And so when I see people like writing sigils and doing shit like that, I'm like, yeah, use your magic and also do something else.
Yeah.
Either use your money or your time or whatever you have, but you do have to bleed.
Yeah.
It's more than thoughts and prayers. You do have to bleed. And if that's magically, then cool, you put your energy out there in a way that can reverberate against you. Like doing magic against patriarchy, against violence, against capitalism is, and if you're doing it right, and again, these are all my opinions. If you're doing it right, it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
Mhm.
It's war. It's really war. Like I literally when I do my anti-capitalist spell work and all other shit, I use war water with my candle work and war oil with my candle work. Um, and I'm aware that some of the shit can hit back on me. And also that some of this shit is outside of our control because change needs to happen in this country. So we may want to we may want to sue this over and keep this from happening, but we got to evolve, and
Mhm.
sometimes evolution is very painful and very fracturing. So all of my spells right now and my work right now and my writing right now is all about mm, protecting the ones who are going to get hit when the bricks fall, when the tower topples. Like, how do we protect the ones who are most vulnerable? Like, how do we protect the disabled, the queers, the chronically ill? How do we protect multi marginalized people when the system collapses? It's collapsing right now,
Mhm.
to be
Yeah.
clear. Um,
The
and you
volume
add
of
in,
strikes that we have happening at the moment,
oh my God,
um,
they need to happen. We need to get
honestly,
unions
they need
back.
to increase. That like, we need to have a countrywide strike on literally
Mm-hmm.
everything for any kind of change to be enacted. So,
Yep.
like, yes, it's disruptive. Good. It should be. That's how strikes work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, though I will say, like, I think unfortunately it's very telling how people react when you tell them the type of things that we're talking about. Because like you were saying with the pink pussy hat things, you remember how they reacted when they were told things like, not all pussies are pink
Yeah.
and not all women have pussies.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them would get very defensive over
So
their
mad.
movement.
Mm-hmm.
So mad. Instead of being like, "Oh, that's a great point. Maybe we should pivot this a bit to make sure that we're including everyone who's affected by what's going on."
Mm-hmm.
Um, they were like, "No, this is my stance
Yep.
because this is about me."
Mm-hmm.
And we have to move the way that we think about things
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people will only get involved if it does involve them. People need to start thinking in terms of community. How does this affect the place that I live? How does this affect the city? How does this affect the state? How does this affect the entire country? How does this affect people I care about? How does this affect everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's waiting until it affects you personally is why we're at where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I agree. Another thing that we were talking about last night is Ron mentioned that he sees a lot of people use like the protests in France and stuff to be like, well, why can't we do that here? And it's like Europe's a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
They have different protections in place for people that we simply don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I, for one, need more of the people who are out there acting like everything's fine to realize that we are living in not a good country. Like, our
Yeah.
country is not developed. We
Mm-hmm.
are becoming an undeveloped nation because of the way that our country doesn't take care of its citizens,
Yeah.
essentially.
We have enough food, we have enough resources. Our country is so big, we can and I'm not talking about isolationism, but we can make everything for the most part we need to make in this country instead of outsourcing as much as we outsource. Now I feel a little high. Do you feel more sober?
Yes. Did you take
Jeez.
some of my high?
Sick.
Did
Oh
you
my
take
God.
some of my
I can't
high?
even remember what the fuck I was saying anymore. Oh my God. Yeah,
Sorry.
no,
But
we're
yeah, no,
not
I'm way
taking
more
care of our
cogent now.
people. Yeah, no, I have it. I took some of it. We are right when we're not taking care of people. And we have the resources to take care of people. We have the resources to do it. And we're allowing a few people to have that money, which means we're allowing a few people to have that power. But then there's a thing of like, we'll stop giving bad companies money. And it's hard because so much of the stuff we depend on is a bad company.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to switch my bank finally, but I bank with Chase, but I'm about to switch my bank to Beneficial Bank. But like Verizon, the phone company I use is into like some fucked up shit. I have to change my website provider because they're like supporting their Israeli like base. So and there's a whole situation with what's happening with Palestine. Like, so we have to be willing to sacrifice stuff to vote with our dollars since we're not allowed to vote from the rooftop. Um, and it's hard because some people can't afford to do that. Some people can't afford to like not shop at Walmart or something like
Right.
that. Like, so it's such all of these systems need to break. And it's so overwhelming. And it's super overwhelming and it's super sad aside from being overwhelming. It's super sad to see people be complicit with it. It's super sad to see people ignoring it. Like, it doesn't have to be like this at all. Also, I saw that picture you just sent me with Worf on it, and that I sent it to 3 other people. Like, it's so good. So
I
Carter
knew
sent
you'd
me this
like that.
meme with Worf with luxurious hair, and the text over it says, "L'Oreal, you're worth it because you're worth it." And it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, one of
Yeah,
my
I
friends
totally
sent me
took your
that, and
high.
I was like, "Yeah, you gotta see this."
I totally got your high.
I was just
I'm
bad,
feeling
and I
it.
picked a scab on my tattoo.
No, you're not
It
supposed to
hurt.
do
I
that.
know, I know, but it hurt. It was just this one little dot, and it hurt so bad, and it
Are you
fucked up
leaving it
that spot.
alone now? Are
I'm
you
leaving
just
it alone now, but
okay?
it fucked up this one spot. She might have to redo this line. But this other spot that she said, because I had it done and I'm like, the white overtook this one black line. And she's like, no, that's not how that works. And I'm like, but it did. but and it did. It took over the white line. The white took over like I
That's
don't
wild.
yeah, like the way that my skin handles color is weird. Like it's just weird. And I'm not gonna it loves color. And like so I got my original tattoo was from 2009 and the white cream color is still there.
Oh
Like you can still
wow,
see it. And I don't think it like cuz I asked her I was like is this just because I never go outside and she's like no. Like your skin just really takes color. I was like, "Oh, okay."
that is awesome.
But yeah, no, this one
Yeah.
scab had been bothering me for because the I got the tattoo done like over a week and a half ago, so it's not like I
Mhm.
was just randomly picking scabs like it was for fun. Just this one spot had been bothering me, and yeah.
You're just looking at it, right? You're not touching it anymore.
No, I'm not touching it anymore. I'm gonna
Okay.
let it heal.
Anytime your head goes down, I'm like, this bitch is picking that scab again.
I'm not. I just did just the one.
Okay. Okay.
Not touching any of the rest of it. The rest of it's pristine. It's pristine.
Okay. Okay.
There's just one line, one single line she might have to redo a little bit.
Mm.
Okay, maybe 2 lines, but the other line was not my fault. That
Mhm.
was the white
Mhm.
overtaking it. Which she says, "The white couldn't have pushed the black out. That doesn't make any sense." And I'm like, "But it did."
Mhm.
Because you can clearly see, like, the white stripe going through the black
Mm.
line. She's like, "White doesn't do that." I'm like, "Mm, okay." She's like, "The white was put on after." I'm like, okay."
Mhm. Mhm.
You don't know my skin. My skin does weird shit.
Mhm.
Sorry, it just does. So that Wolverine healing. But yeah, so, uh, I think that was a good discussion though. That was necessary. That's why I wanted to,
That
like,
was
talk about it
necessary.
because we need change. We need change and we need to enact it the right way because a lot of what people are doing is ineffectual, which, like, beyond just being slightly annoying to me, it's not helping. So we need people to get with the program and work together to
Yeah.
actually make things
And
happen.
and that calls for people to be uncomfortable. It means having comfort, like holiday season is coming up. Having those hard conversations with your family at the dinner table, or being like, I'm gonna, that fine line between I can't associate with you because of your belief systems.
Mhm.
Like those kind of things. Like people are like, are you really willing to lose a friend because they have certain viewpoints? And it's like, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, I am.
Yeah,
Yes, I am.
absolutely.
And so many people just choose not to talk about it. Like I was in a relationship with someone for quite some time where we, oh my God, yeah, chose not to talk about certain things so that we could be in a relationship. And and eventually that became untenable because I'm like, this is my life. You're watching these things happen to people who look like me, and yet you are doing and saying nothing about it. Like that can't, I can't, I can't be complicit in that, which I was
Right.
being. So we need people to have those hard conversations. We need people to engage in more civil disobedience. We need more people out. And the thing is, there are protests happening all the time, but the media suppresses it a lot. So we really need to lean on like creating our own news systems. And that's why, even though I think Elon Musk is trying to kill Twitter,
Jesus
um,
Christ. The X. Ugh.
but we still need it. We need it because that's how people find things. Like people, like if you notice, whenever somebody does something to pop off and they need to find a person, Twitter sleuths find it. Twitter is like on it. I refuse to call it X. I don't even know why they call it X.
Oh, I know why they call it X.
Why?
It's disgusting. So what had happened was Elon Musk, before he was in with PayPal, had his own company called X, and that company was meant to be, and I hope I'm quoting this correctly, a um financial superstore. And he was basically going to make it a money exchange program where you could send money via email in, like, the most unsecure way possible, to the point that the board members were like, "There's no way to track this shit, and you can't verify identities the way that you're setting this up. This is borderline illegal. We can't do this." And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Well, I'm going to figure out a way to do it because I think you guys are stupid." And basically, when he was on, like, X merged with a different paying program, and those two together became PayPal. And then he was
Oh.
ousted from the CEO board of PayPal through, like, a coup, basically, because they were like, "This man is unhinged. He is going to do wild shit with this company. We
Mhm.
can't do this because it's gonna be illegal as fuck." And so when he took over Twitter, um one, some people have speculated that he is running it into the ground to ensure that he doesn't have to pay taxes because of the loss of revenue from paying as much as he did
Yeah.
for Twitter.
Yeah, he
But
overpaid.
also the rebranding to X, which is his old company, tells me that he is going to try to turn Twitter into a money exchange platform. That is what he's trying to do with it.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
because he's the only one in charge, he's the only one with hands in it, he feels like he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and he doesn't have anybody to rein him in at this point, because
Mm,
basically the old executives of Twitter have divested completely from the platform. He got rid of anybody who could have told him, "That's a bad idea, don't do that," so that he could do whatever the fuck he wanted with it. That's why the instant it became X, I uninstalled, because I was like,
mm,
I can't with this." And then I read some kind of thread about this with the history. I'll try to find it so I can send it to you, but, like, seriously, it is, like, untenable if he's going to go that route again or try to with
mhm.
Twitter as a platform, because he's like, "This is name recognition. Everybody's on Twitter. I'm just gonna rename it X, and then we'll push it to be a payment processing system." And because the thing is, Twitter's a software. He can go in and have them change it to be whatever he wants it to be, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, they can start adding features to it where you can just send money over the internet to other Twitter users however you want, uh, essentially making it a money laundering program. He can do that if he wants to.
Ugh. Oh,
What?
gross.
Yeah. It is.
That makes me tired. And this
Mm.
whole thing where Elon Musk is like, "I'm African."
I mean, technically, but just because
He's
he's a colonizer.
yes.
Oh my god, that real of this girl being like, "Hey, are you cooking?" And, like, it showed this, like, absolute golden retriever of a boy, like,
Mhm.
making spiced food, and somebody in the comments was like, "You tamed a colonizer, look at that. You domesticated a colonizer." And, like, literally the rest of the comment thread just, like, exploded because everybody's like, "Oh my god, he is like a golden retriever. You keep him as a pet. Is he house trained?" Shit like that, it got wild.
Wow.
It was very funny.
That's a thread I would love.
Um,
That is a thread I would love.
oh, I should have sent it to you. Like, half the time when I wanna send you things, you've already liked it. And the other half, I'm like, "Am I spamming? I don't wanna spam."
No,
But
no, send it to me. Oh, I was so proud of myself. I finally made it through all of the reels that Zach sent me. They were
yeah, he sent a lot. He sent
prolific.
me a lot too. He's like, "You're sick. You must need reels." And I'm like, "I mean, yes." And, like, 90% of them are cute animals, so, like, I can't really tell
Yes.
him to stop because I love cute
Yeah.
animals.
No, they were all things I wanted to see. All of them were things I wanted to see. All of them. And I was like, I don't want Zach to think I don't care because I haven't looked at these reels. But I looked at the reels and they were all cute and they were all uplifting and they all made me feel better. But I do feel a sense of accomplishment. I feel like I read War and Peace. Like it It's lovely. And and Zach, if you are listening to this, which you probably will, keep sending those reels. I love them. I love you, and I'm super grateful for you, and your prolific reel sending. Uh, it's great. It's good. It's great. So yeah, what else are we going to talk about today? Queer baiting and media.
Yes, because I feel like, eh, we have we've finally moved away from it, I feel like, in terms of, like, actually getting gay things being shown on screen.
Mhm.
Like, we're finally getting to a stage where, like, for every gay bait, there is actual gay, and I love
Mhm.
that for us. Because like, Good Omens could have been a gay bait, but it
It could
wasn't,
have been, but it wasn't.
and I love that.
It
I love
wasn't.
that so much.
And there was a lot of I what I loved about Good Omens this season is instead of questioning like are they queer, it was like are they straight? Like it was definitely a everybody is assumed queer in this thing.
Nice.
Which which I absolutely loved. I felt about it the same way I felt like I had a friend we were in the burlesque circuit when I was doing burlesque, and she came up to me one day and she said Magnolia because that's my performance name. She was like Magnolia. I'm I am I'm straight and I feel funny about it. I'm like, bitch, what? She's like, I'm straight. I'm like, are you coming out to me saying you straight? She's like, yes. Everybody else around is like queer or gay or lesbian, and I'm straight, and I've been afraid to say that I'm straight. And I just cackled. I just, I just cackled. I'm like, you get to be straight. It's okay. I'm like, you get to be straight. Yeah. So that's what I feel about it. Was just immense joy. I had so much joy when she came out
Yeah.
being about like being straight because I'm like, oh, now you get how uncomfortable it is for queer. Like you just had to come out as straight, bitch. That's hilarious. You understand how funny that shit is. And I feel like in shows and media, we're getting more of we are having more of the situations of are they, aren't they? But it's not, but it's also not their main character trait,
Yeah.
like being gay or being queer or being lesbian or being trans. Like that is not their whole entire identity. They get to be human, and this just gets to be their queerness is just part of them.
What I really love is the trend towards not the love not being defined by gender.
Mhm.
Like, with a lot of the shows that involve, cross-dressing, as an example,
Mhm.
we're getting more of the, "I'm falling in love with you for you. I don't care what you look like or how you
Mhm.
identify. It's you as a person that I love."
Mhm.
And I love that. I love that so much.
Oh my god. That reminds me of this. I don't know if you sent this to me or somebody else sent this to me, but there was this one reel like, "Oh, millennials are tired." And a Gen Zer says because y'all had to pretend to be straight
Yeah,
for
that was me.
so
I sent that to you. 'Cause you had to pretend to be straight for so long, and it's like, "Oh, ouch. Ouch.
Yeah,
Shut up, it's
yeah,
true, but ouch."
it's true. And then you sent me something. I think it was you who sent me something, or maybe I ran across it with oh my god, what's his name from the Try Guys? Eugene from the Try
Yes,
Guys.
about, like, just every year getting more and more queer and how
Mhm.
satisfying that it's so satisfying.
So satisfying.
It's so
So
satisfying.
satisfying.
Just like, "Oh my god, be gay, do crimes." That is my entire motto in life now.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Like, I may present straight, but I promise you I am not.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
my entire goal is to come out with vibes that are as gay as humanly possible, so that other gay people know I'm safe to be gay
Yes.
with.
Yes.
Please be gay with me, it's fine.
It's good. It's good.
It's
This is a
good.
safe
I'm
queer
happy.
space. Mhm.
Exactly. exactly.
Hmm.
I am a safe haven for the gay. Come to me, my
And I wonder
children.
why this is I'm wondering why this is happening now. Like, who is it because of who's in charge of the media? Is it because of they finally figured out that we're spending our money and we can tap into this? But it doesn't feel as if queerness or LGBTQ uh
The LGBTQ.
is I don't feel like it's as much pandering anymore, and I feel like
I think it's because they've started to allow queer people to write the actual shows.
oh
Because remember,
yeah.
like every single time we talk about this, you can tell the audience and who is writing it for what audience.
Mhm.
Because the basically over the years, people are just like, well, no, every time some straight person has said, well, if you don't like it, write it yourself. A queer person did. They went and wrote it themselves, and
Mhm.
then it became super popular. And then the mass media was like, "Oh, well, maybe we'll make this into a show and see if it's as popular." And then it was.
Mhm.
And then they were like, "Oh shit, we can get queer money." Okay. So, I think it's a one of the best side effects of rainbow capitalism is the fact that we don't get as much queer baiting, which I'm very, very pro because like while I do have soft spots for queer baiting shows such as Oran Host Club and
Oh my god.
and Yuri on Ice.
Oh my god. Oh, what? Oh,
Technically it's baiting.
okay.
Technically it's baiting because it was not explicitly shown that they did kiss. Um
It
if
was
in the edit
in the
in the edit if the edit becomes canon, then we can say it's canon.
It is canon. It was we got the edited version of it. That was the unedited version. It is canon. They kissed, but you know what? That's probably why they didn't have a season 2. They probably didn't have a season 2 because they couldn't just play at them being queer. They were like in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's probably why we haven't gotten a season 2. And Yuri on Ice deserves a season 2. Zach just sent me a reel.
Live in action while we're on the podcast. I mean, to be fair, he doesn't know we're doing the podcast because of the time
Mhm.
difference because he lives in the future.
Mhm.
So I keep teasing him. I got super high the other day and I'm like literally sending him a voicemail going like, "Oh my god, my voice is going into the future." Which is both why I should get high more often and why I should never get high both at the same because I get weird when I'm high. Oh my god, do I
Mhm.
get weird when I'm high. But it's also funny. So
Mhm.
I can't really front on that. Um I may have been high while we were watching the show the other day. I can't remember. I got
Mhm.
high once this week and it was brilliant and I need to do that more often, I feel. Um but yeah, other shows that like queer baited that I was mad about was definitely Supernatural. The Destiel business. I will die mad about how they handled that.
Oh my god, so that also means that Xena Warrior Princess is queer baiting too.
It is. It
And
is.
also did that thing where it got like they couldn't be together in the flesh because Xena
Mhm.
dies at the end,
Yeah.
which is a tragic queer trope.
It is. Basically, if they the way that it was working was if they made the relationship or the crush or whatever canon, one of them had to die. That
Mm.
was the kill the gays trope because that is entirely too common, but that's how they handled it in Supernatural. Basically, Dean gets confessed to by Castiel, and then Castiel immediately unexists. Like
Mm.
immediately after the confession, he is no more. And it's like a permadeath, because like typically with angels they can't die, but he like gets unalived in a way that means he can never come back.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I just got a message that it's Burning Man this weekend.
Okay.
So that means traffic in the Bay Area is really good right now
I guess everybody's gone.
because everyone is gone, which is really great. But I also just got this like wild notification that says there was a storm in the desert and thousands of people are now stuck at Burning Man. They're
Oops.
being urged to conserve food and water. It's turned into Fire Festival out there.
Oh my god.
Which
Like
is gonna be a Fire Festival too.
what? Why?
Yeah, yes, I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about it. I, it's like someone telling me, "Ooh, there's about to be a mess going on. Get your fucking popcorn." I am ready.
I mean, well, honestly though,
Oh,
watching rich people fall all over themselves is kind of funny.
mm-hmm.
It's real funny actually.
It's real good.
Oh man. Oh man. But yeah,
Ladies
I
looking at me now.
I need to watch the next season of Heartstopper, but like I'm also, because I've read the comic, I know what's coming. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I just I just want to see the boys be happy. Is that too much
Oh,
to ask? I just want to see the boys be happy. I just want to see them be happy. And like it's hard enough because it's a high school thing, because when it's a high school thing, you know, they graduate. That's why
yep,
like the Sasaki and Miyano movie is coming out, and it's called Sasaki and Miyano Graduation, because Sasaki graduates.
yeah.
That's part of the story. Um so it's dealing with the anxiety of, I'm not going to be able to see you every day because we're not in school together anymore.
I had that happen in my queer relationship where it was like, "You're gonna go to college and we're gonna be separated." I'm like, "We're in the same fucking city still." Like I decided when the I could have gone. I wanted to go to New York to go to school. I did. I wanted to go to New York to go to college. And my mom was like, "You're not going anywhere. I demand you stay here." So I got a scholarship to like Dillard University. Um, but I wanted to leave, but part of me did want to stay because I was in a relationship with someone who wasn't going to graduate yet. But our relationship crashed and burned during the summer. Like
Oof.
crashed and burned. This she was oh, she was a mess. She was a absolute terror. Um, but yeah, having that whole thing, I'm going to a different school. We're gonna be like long distance. There's a lot of changes that's gonna happen in someone's life when they graduate. So I want to see the movie, but also now that you're like graduation, I'm like, oh, it's gonna
Well, I'm sure they will work it out, and we can read the comic beforehand, because the movie's gonna come out, I think, in September or October or something like that. So we have a few weeks.
next year.
No, this year.
Oh
Yeah, it's already out actually. It's just it hasn't been released on Crunchyroll yet. So
my god,
I know, I'm excited.
that's so exciting.
That's why I love reading the comics, though I feel like the comics don't convey, like, you have to have both if there's an anime to it, because like as an example, Given, I I fucking love Given so much. But it's because I watched the anime first, and my friend who I sent the first book of Given to, she's like, "Is Mafu you dumb?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "He he doesn't know what a band is? I don't he didn't know guitars could have their strings changed? How? How?
Mhm.
Has he lived under a rock his entire life?" And I'm like, No, he just has a, onion layers of trauma that has kept him from
Mhm.
communicating effectively as a person that
Mhm.
he has to get over, and that's part of the thing. But like that's not an uncommon reaction to that one. And I feel like at least with the anime, it gets over that hump a bit quicker,
Mhm.
or you're at least engaged enough with the music and with Uenoyama that it's not as um distracting as with the books. I feel like maybe the books
Mhm.
are a little bit different. Um But yeah, did I tell you that there's a side story to Sasaki and Miyano?
No, you did not.
Yeah, so there's the main manga is Sasaki and Miyano, and then there's a second one called Hirano and Kigura. It's the blonde and his roommate. They get their own little mini series on the side.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
And there's a novel. There's like a novel too. Which I didn't realize, like, I just grabbed it because it was Sasaki and Miyano related, and then it's like, "Oh, this is a book. This is a book. This is not a comic. How did this happen?" So, yeah,
Mm.
there's apparently a lot more content with that one than the
Okay, I want to check all that out. I want to check all that out. That reminded me, there was another that I started to watch, and it's called Hitori no Shita.
Hitori
And
no
I'm
Shi.
watching it because someone said it has badass fight scenes.
Ooh, okay.
So I just watched like one episode, and it seems really good.
What is it on?
It's on Crunchyroll.
Hitori no Shita.
Hitori.
I'm gonna look that up right now, make sure I have it. I'm sure it's on my list because literally everything is on my list, but just in case, let's make sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it for the fight scenes. I love a good fight scene.
It is on my list. Oh, I like that style.
Mhm.
Series details. Okay, zombies. We love some zombies. I've heard that Zom 100 is very good also.
Yes, I heard that one was good too. Boop boop boop. Yeah, so there's less queer stereotypes that I'm seeing in media. Like, again, we get to show up as full people in media, which has been really great to see that representation.
Yeah.
But I'm also still surprised. It's so new that I'm still surprised to see it, and I love it. I
Yeah,
love
it
it.
is new, but like I love how they're actually giving us what we want. Like
Mhm.
I think Mignon is actually a really good example of that because a lot of shows will shy away from actually showing them being sexy, and this one didn't give a fuck.
It did not, and
They're,
I
like,
could tell there was
making
a
out episode 4, they don't care.
oh my god, and that last episode, oh my god, that
Oh.
last episode, and I know there's an unedited version because they did the blur thing,
Mhm.
so I know that there was an unedited version of that somewhere exists in the world in someone's, like, hard drive. They got that hardness in their hard drive. Um, but yeah, they when they kissed that first time with the whole blood thing,
It was shocking a little bit because it's just not
it
something you
was.
normally see. Most of the
Yeah.
kisses, especially most of the kisses in media, especially Korean media, are extremely chaste.
Mhm.
Even even straight kisses are super chaste. So you're
Mhm.
not you don't usually see tongue action like that, and that was
No.
refreshing. Was it was refreshing. So, like, literally
Mhm.
the instant I saw that, I'm like, "Please don't turn weird. Please don't turn weird. Please don't turn weird," as I was watching the rest of the episodes because I wanted to tell you about it so bad. I'm like, "I know they'll love this as long as it doesn't get weird," and it didn't. It was perfect. It was
No, it just got
delightful.
hotter. It just got hotter. It just got hotter.
I was
Oh
like,
my
"I know for
god.
sure this is a good recommendation."
Yes, and I love Mignon's character, because he was just so sweet and so caring, and he was holding back. You don't realize how much he was holding back until they get in relationship together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
He's like,
and
I might have been I'm done being submissive in my life.
honestly, though, that trope is so hot.
Mhm.
The respect and consent are, like, the hottest things that they can put
Mhm.
in these shows, and the fact that they understood the assignment and completed
Mhm.
it with aplomb, chef's kiss.
Mhm.
Absolutely, it
It
was
was so
wonderful.
good.
But that's the other reason why I love Sasaki and Miyano so much because Sasaki holds back, like, the entire time
Yes.
until he gets, like, the green light, and then it's like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna make out now. Deal with it."
Mhm. Mhm. He was really good. He's like, I want to touch him so badly, but I'm not going to. And then a few times where he almost kissed him, but he was like holding himself in check.
Yeah.
He's like, no, no, I don't want to force him. I want him to have time to think. I can wait. Blah, 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 blah. So sweet. So sweet. And also, I remember being in love in high school. Like, a day felt like a week.
Yeah. Those hormones.
Yeah. And plus, you've only been alive for like 16, 17 years. So a day feels really long. Unlike now, we're like, oh shit, it's September already. It's about to be a new year. Like
Yeah.
when you're older, you're like, why is time going so fucking fast? Can you maybe slow down a little bit? Oh.
Yeah, for some reason, time feels both slow and fast at the same time. It's like I don't have enough
Mhm.
time in a single day, but a week feels like a long time sometimes.
Mhm.
It only feels like a long time when I'm unable to do the things I wanna do because I have a fucking broken hand.
Oh, I'm
It
sorry,
feels
friend.
it feels like it's taken forever. It's only been a week. It's only been a week, and I'm already
Mhm.
like, "I'm done with it." So,
Well,
it's only been a week.
remember to baby yourself and be
I
gentle with
know.
yourself
I know. I'll
so
be
that you
I'll
heal well.
I'll be good. I don't wanna be good, but I'll be good.
Oh my god, I had a dream that Bertha was crocheting me a Zenitsu doll.
That would be hella cute.
Wouldn't it be? And it's because like there's this guy called Naughty Chef, and he has a video of him crocheting a Zenitsu doll. So in my dream, Bertha was making one for me, and I was like, "Oh my god, yay!
You
A
should
new
maybe
cuddle buddy!"
send that video to Bertha. Be like, "Hint, hint, 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 hint." Not for real, but kinda for real.
Bertha sent the clip to me.
Oh, well,
Mm.
maybe there's a birthday surprise coming and your brain just, like, let you in on the secret already.
Oh my god, maybe. This year's been rough. I hope there's a birthday surprise somewhere in it. We're going to this place called Seika Hills,
Mhm.
where there's olive oil tasting.
Ooh.
Hmm. So we're gonna go there. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna do some olive oil tasting. I'm gonna get some olive oils to come back home with, and these olive oils are so good. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we
Hi,
have a
Ladybug.
company here called
Hi, baby.
Vom Fass, something like that, and they
Mm-hmm.
do wine tasting and olive oil tasting, and their olive oil and balsamic collections are, like, bonkers good.
Mm.
I don't use them fast enough, though. I will admit to that.
Well,
Mm.
I guess we have exhausted ourselves on our topics.
We have, and I'm also exhausted in general because of my hand. I'm
Yes.
sorry. We may have to cut it a little shorter
No,
today than
it's
normal.
fine. It's fine. I'm just gonna lay here and watch Xena.
I mean, that sounds like a great day. I was actually thinking
Mhm.
of ordering pizza. I'm like,
That sounds
that is,
delicious.
that is the one thing that I have been very strange about is that, like, since I hurt my hand, my body keeps trying to cannibalize itself. So I
Yeah,
literally have to feed it way more than normal to, like, not be hungry because otherwise I start eating my own muscles trying to make a bone. And
that makes
so I'm
sense.
like, I can't really cook one-handed because I keep burning myself. I've tried, it's bad.
Oh,
I have
friend.
to ask for help, and Kurt is
Yes.
literally in the kitchen going, "Why are you doing this? You could have just asked me to do this." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't wanna be a burden." He's like, "Shut up.
Mm,
It's harder for me if you hurt yourself all the time." I'm like, "Okay,
yes.
fair."
Yes.
And it's funny because like, I was trying to not be a burden in the hospital to the point that the nurse was like, "Do you need anything? Do you need some food or drink?" I'm like, "Wait, you have snacks?" And she was like, "Yeah." Like, apparently I was on the ED ward. She's like, "Of course we have snacks. So,
Wow,
do
you
you
were
want
on the
some."
ED board?
Yeah, and, like, I thought it was weird that they kept, weighing me in kilograms every time they came to weigh me. And I think that's why, is because they were like, if you're obsessive about your numbers and you're thinking in terms of pounds, if they do it in kilograms, you can't obsess over it because unless you know the exact conversion rate and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like, this is interesting. But yeah, no, so I like was like, yeah, let me mainline this peanut butter. So I had all these little Jif cups hanging out with me while I was like just eating it with a spoon. Like, yeah, I got some crackers, but I got some leftover peanut butter. I'm just gonna lick this cup because it's some for protein. I love me some peanut butter. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna order some pizza and watch stuff. And maybe take a
Okay.
nap because I didn't take a nap yesterday. I went to bed kind of early, so that was good. But yeah, I can't do stuff for too long still.
Yeah.
I
It's
get
gonna
tired
take a
easy.
while. It's gonna take a while. And I can kind of feel your tiredness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel your tiredness. So I'm glad that we're able to talk today. I'm so thankful that we were able to catch up in this way. Even though it's not really catching up because we talked a lot last.
We have
We
been
talked a lot.
connected, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we talked a lot, which has been great. I'm sorry your hand has been really fucked up, but and it's been great to be able to talk to you and hold space with you. And you
Yeah.
heal like a Wolverine as long as you like let yourself heal.
Yeah, like, all of the wounds are closed up, basically. I
Mm,
went in, the doctor's like, "Yeah, this is healing really well. Good job." I was like,
hmm.
"Okay."
Good.
But,
All right, my friend.
okay.
You're gonna go eat and heal, and I'm gonna go lay down and drink a bunch of water and watch Xena.
That honestly sounds like a great plan for the night,
Mhm.
for the evening.
All right, y'all. This has been Witchy Shit and Mongalit with Cartabus and Rawiyah, and we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.